Hi, I'm Richard McGeorge. I'm a lead infrastructure finance specialist in the Financial Solutions unit. Financial Solutions is part of the Global Themes Vice Presidency of the World Bank Group. I'm on the team helping Croatia address its road sector, so let me give you some of the backdrop to the project and focus in on some of the financial issues. The story starts with the breakup of Yugoslavia and the wars of independence, from which veterans returned to Croatia in the mid-1990s, only to find themselves out of work. Employment was helped by the government starting the A1 road corridor as a policy decision to soak up some of that unemployment. Road expansion ramped up between 2001 and 2008, with funding mostly from sovereign state-guaranteed commercial debt, which led to a rapid debt build-up. The 2008 global financial crisis was a game changer for Croatia. GDP never looked better before the crisis, and it's declined since. A general trend of depopulation, an ageing population, and rising unemployment all accelerated. And this economic decline led to increasing debt to GDP, the country credit rating declined, and the cost of funding increased. On the sector side, a continuation of motorway expansion and progressive refocusing on state road construction has compounded matters, and this is all despite Croatia joining the EU in 2009. By the time the bank group got involved in 2015, the road sector companies had accumulated €5.2 billion of debt. And because all the borrowing has been backed by the sovereign, the road sector debt amounts to 12% of GDP, so it's a national debt problem too. Worse still, more than half of this debt matures in the next 3 years. So how did the sector get here? Well, there are 3 main problems the team diagnosed quite early on, but we gave this real precision with a 5,000 row financial model, the results of which are distilled into the chart that's shown. So the first problem is poor sector earnings as a result of revenues not being optimised, high levels of OPEX and shortcomings in investment planning. Add to that a second problem of high levels of short-term debt that can't be serviced from earnings, and the picture really starts to emerge. The third problem was that Croatia didn't have the credit strength or the capacity at the time we started to reorganise the debt so that it could put the road sector back on a sustainable footing. The team developed and recommended a solution to the government which was going down quite another path. The government agreed with the team's approach, and it actioned our first recommendation, which was to appoint an independent transaction advisor to help develop the strategy even further. Then the team set about developing a letter of sector policy. The government committed to this, which includes a number of actions such as developing a coherent sector strategy, improving planning, moving to a performance-based sector management model, and addressing debt levels. A €22 million loan for technical assistance from the bank helps fund these policy changes. Managing the debt comes in 2 interrelated parts, and the first part is to refinance the more expensive debt and the short-term debt with a sovereign bond. The bank approved a €350 million guarantee to support the refinancing. Yet bond market conditions have been so strong since that it's likely Croatia won't need to use the guarantee right now. Yet holding the guarantee in reserve sends a really powerful signal to the capital market that Croatia has the resources to run a competitive process. So it's like having an insurance policy, but Croatia needs to keep up with the reforms to keep the guarantee alive. The second part of the debt management strategy is to encourage some existing creditors to improve the terms of their road sector loans. The incentive is that there is a lot of liquidity in the Croatian market, and there are very few options to place that capital elsewhere if they're refinanced. The guarantee helps signal to these lenders that Croatia does have other options. So when we put all this together, we're addressing each of the problems while using bank group resources as efficiently as possible. The operation is consistent with maximising finance for development. What we found is that the approach depends on whether we're descending down the cascade or reversing up it. In either case, the approach involves understanding the problem, identifying the benefits and the risks for various ways to solve the problem, managing the risks down to the smallest possible pool of residual risks, and only then applying risk mitigation instruments. In Croatia's case, the road companies already had commercial debt, but it's state-backed and it's not financially sustainable. This meant reversing up the cascade to find a new level by implementing policy reforms and then employing bank group instruments efficiently. In the end, it might be that we help solve a €5 billion problem with less than €25 million of bank support, the application of good practice in turning around a sector, and solid coordination and collaboration with the government. I hope this presentation has been helpful, and thank you very much for watching.